Today on Ridge Roamer, we're going to look at making my 2024 Triumph Scrambler 400X a little bit more tech friendly with this awesome new package from Chigee. I'm sure you've already noticed that this video is quite long, so I did my best to do time markers at the bottom. So if there's a particular part of the video that you want to see, specific to the 400X, installation specifics, accessories, an overview of how it works, riding with it, that type of stuff, feel free to jump around and watch just the parts of the video that interest you. The Scrambler 400X has a nice basic package as far as electronics go. You've got capability to see your fuel and distance to empty, turn on and off traction control, ABS, but there's not a lot as far as friendliness for nav or Bluetooth or any of that kind of capability like there are on some of the other bikes. And I'll be honest, I've been a little bit spoiled with things like tire pressure monitors and navigation on my Indians and on my Tiger 900. So I wanted to do something about that on this 400. So I got in touch with the people over at Chigee and picked up this AIO-5 Lite. This is a 5-inch touchscreen with wireless Apple Carplay or Android Auto, giving you navigation, music, phone and text capability. It comes with 2 cameras, one for the front, one for the rear, so you can record whether you want that to be footage of rides or for just dash cam type recordings. You've got blind spot monitoring using that rear camera. You've got optional tire pressure monitors that can be inside the wheel or screw on the valve stems. It uses 5G Wi-Fi and Bluetooth 5.0 for some very fast wireless integration with your phone in one easy to use tech package. So this little box contains the majority of that system. I do have a couple optional accessories, including the tire pressure monitors, the wireless remote. So we're gonna delve into the installation here of this product today and see how it works on the Scrambler 400. So opening up this box here, it is a beautiful, well-made, very secure box with some nice graphics on it. It does show here how you can get your apps for either the Apple App Store or Google Play. There's a quick start guide, full installation manual, and here is the system itself. Got a couple cameras in there. Looks like we've got a couple boxes that have mounting systems, everything else. But it's all pre-wired, ready to mount using a small ball and socket style mount. We'll run all this to the battery and to the cameras, and then we've got different mounting options, so we'll take a look at what's going to make the most sense here on the Scrambler 400X. So we'll go ahead and take the cameras out for the moment. In box A, we've got a keychain. More of the electrical harnesses. So this is the one that goes to the battery, and looks like this is a GPS receiver, so it actually has its own onboard GPS as well as the capability to use systems from your phone. And in box B, we've got a handlebar mount, some stickers and some cord management ties here, some more zip ties, different rings, spacer rings for the mount depending on the size of handlebar. a toolkit and extra adhesives for the cameras. First thing I'm going to do is figure out where I want to mount this. I'll get out the mounting rings. And we'll get out the tools we need. This is a security style bolt, so it uses a proprietary tool here. Not really proprietary, but not widely carried by most people. It's a very secure, very stout feeling metal bracket. They've made it super easy by just having it hinged. I think initially I'm going to try getting it one of these sides, or they actually make a mount for the crossbar as well, so I can remove this crossbar pad and mount it right there in the middle if I would like. Let's take a look and see what that would look like. This is their crossbar mount. It uses a much thinner diameter that will allow me to mount it directly to the crossbar and not even use the adjustable ball. That looks like that may, for this installation, be the cleanest setup to be able to have it not interfere with any of the other controls or visibility. Let's give that a try. So I swapped out the ball mount on the back of the unit itself for the crossbar mount, and now I'll use the opposite part of that clamp and we'll go around this crossbar. Go ahead and tighten this down. Next we're going to mount cameras. The cameras are mounted F for front and B for back. The back one has a longer cord, and then you do have ability to rotate, so if you're mounting upside down or sideways or whatever, you can rotate that camera and there's a mark right on top to show you where the top is. For the rear, I'm going to mount it right underneath here because that grab rail will give protection to the camera, keep it hidden, and make sure it doesn't get kicked. So that'll be an easy installation there. I'll go ahead and grab the double-sided tape and stick that down. Alternatively, they do give you holes in the mounting base here if you want to screw or bolt it down. This is high quality 3M double-sided foam tape. I will say everything in this kit, packaging, the bags, the hardware, everything is very high quality. I was not sure what to expect. This has exceeded my expectations as far as how well this kit is put together and how high a quality this entire system is. Get it centered. Press down. Peel off the cover on the back of the camera. And that shouldn't go anywhere. Now on the front, I also want it to be pretty hidden. I want to be able to run a fly screen, so I don't want to mount it right up top. I don't want to block the headlight, so I don't want to put it here. So I think what I'm going to do is actually tuck it right down here, and again with the capability to pivot this and rotate the camera in the mount for what is vertical. I should be able to mount that right there and still have an awesome front-facing camera that's tucked away and not interfering with anything else. Mount it where I want it here. And then point it in the right direction. Perfect. Now with all the components mounted, I'm going to remove the seats, attach all of the quick connect wire harnesses, all the plugs here, and also connect to the battery and the GPS receiver. Run all my wires through this cable stay. And down. Get these all protected inside the headlight bracket. The power supply cord has your positive and negative. It also has a yellow, which is an ignition line. So you just need to tap in. They include a wire tap, and you just need to tap that into one of the wires under the fuse box that is only hot when the key is turned on. So I use the tail light, or not the tail light, but the turn signal wires. Double check that with a multimeter. Anytime the key is on, there's 12 volt power there. Whenever the key is off, it's off. That way when we shut off the bike, the Chigee unit will also turn off, and we won't have any power draw while the bike is turned off. So now I'm going to just tape this up a little bit more, get all that protected. I'll button this up, put it all back together, and connect the hot and the ground, and we should be able to do a functional test. With the power connected, I just wanted to show you how well this is constructed, how nice these connectors are. They just go together in a nice, easy, oriented way that's impossible to mess up. Then you've got two knurled locking collars on either side that come together, and you are secure and weather tight, and it's not going to come apart. So I love the way these connectors are set up. Again, most of them are labeled or colored, so you know exactly what goes to what. Super easy. Now with everything wired in and connected, I'm not hidden the wires away, but we'll go ahead, peel the protector off of the display, turn the key on. Now that we've got the basic system installed, I'm going to go ahead and start with the accessories. The first of which is going to be the screen protector. They actually use a tempered glass film, so this is not just a little piece of plastic that sticks on there. It's actually a nice protective cover. With an investment like this, addition to the bike, rocks, bugs, you know, whatever happened in here, definitely a good idea to protect that investment with a kit. So here's the glass, here's the cleaning kit. So we're going to go ahead and clean this real fast, get this installed. Pretty straightforward. Perfect. Next is the external tire pressure sensors. They also offer internal tire pressure sensors, but I don't have any plans to take these tires off anytime soon, so I took the simple route. These will screw right on to the existing valve stems and make it real easy to keep an eye on our tire pressure. Kit includes front and rear tire pressure sensors, a specialty wrench for it, and 2 nuts. Next, we're going to pair the tire pressure sensors. So for this part, you actually have to have them off. We're going to go into features, TPMS. You can set your units to the correct ones. We're going to pair. So we wait for it to flicker on the data window, which it is. And we go ahead and screw that in so that it can register. Now we go back and it has registered. So now we take the rear, which is flashing, come back in here, screw the rear on. Go back to the front, and now it registered. So I've got 30.3 in the front, 36.3 in the rear, and our tire pressures are calibrated. Using their wrench, we'll go in, we will tighten the sensor itself, and then once that's tight, we'll put the jam nut on, we'll turn it around, and we'll tighten that jam nut against the sensor, do that front and rear. The final accessory I got is this remote control, which is going to allow us to put a series of buttons here on the left hand grip, and basically a little safety item to ensure that you can operate a lot of the features without even taking your hands off of the handlebars to operate the touchscreen. And what we get in this kit is the buttons, a mounting bracket, and the appropriate hardware. So we're going to go ahead and install this essentially right here to allow us to use our thumb to operate these controls. Depending on your application, you may find that you need to bend this bracket a little bit. There's nothing wrong with that. Scrambler 400, I'm going to bend this bracket out at the very bottom and then bend it back closer to the top. Now with it kind of tweaked exactly the way I need it to, the clutch perch tightened back up, My buttons sit exactly where I wanted, right above my information button. Very easy to get to while operating the motorcycle. This is a wireless remote, so you'll notice here on the edge that there's a little USB input. It's just a standard USB-C, so periodically I will have to charge this. Very easy though, especially considering that the Scrambler comes with a USB output. Next thing we've got to do is pair the remote. So in the main screen, we're going to go to Setup again, go to Features, go to Remote Control, hit the Pair button. Now it tells me to hit any button, hit the button, it immediately finds it, and now our remote is set up. Now back in their home screen, you can see the tire pressure is registering 30 and 36. Going back into the setup menu, you can also adjust your language, put a storage card in, a bunch of information that you can do here to kind of get it set up initially. Going to the car link, we'll hit that, and it pops up right away with music and my maps. Hit the button down here. It'll go over all of the apps that I have that I can use here. And I can actually exit that if I want completely, go back to the home screen there. I can hit that car link just like I did, or I can go up here, hit that button, that will connect it to the phone as well. And then you've got your shortcuts for your most often used. So maps, I've got music, back to maps, and then you've also got the button here where you can split the screen, go to phone calls, back. Everything's set up really easy, very quick. Got all your settings here, so I can turn on traffic, I can switch it to satellite view, I can do all my route options, set where home and work is. Awesome setup here. Very happy with the way that this thing operates. Super smooth. You can drag, drop, zoom, everything that you would expect it to do. I mean, using Google Maps off of my Android device. Next step is going to be to go for a ride. Okay. Go ahead and put the phone in the bag. So it's protected, don't have to worry about it. Turn the key onto the bike. Get the startup screen here. I'm not going to touch anything just so you guys can sort of see how it starts up. Get our startup screen here, the Chigee basic system. Tire pressure's good, just showed that my Bluetooth connected. And automatically goes to the Android Auto screen. I'm also going to turn on my headset. Phone connected. We're going to head to work today. And that was quick. Music's going. I'm going to go ahead and pause that. All right, well, let's take off, head to work. Well, we got our little icon up here. That's yet to be solved, but in case you wondered, they did come out with a release that was supposed to fix that, Triumph, and then they came out again and said if you did the fix to that, undo it, go back to the original one. So not sure what the problem is there, but still on the to-do list. So let's startup screen there showed that System is pretty responsive as far as startup. Comes together pretty quickly, gets you all the info that you need. Had some good storms rolled through yesterday, so a lot of debris in the driveway yet. Need to come down and clean up all these sticks and leaves. Probably do a little driveway maintenance. Got a little bit of washouts as well. Now the map system is Google Maps, so since I'm using Android Auto, and so you can adjust this however you prefer, as far as like having the satellite view or 3D view or whatever you like your map to look like. Personally kind of like the satellite view, because as I do a lot of off-road, off the beaten path, I can also zoom in and get some key landmarks off of the satellite view, because roads aren't always the best marked around here in East Tennessee, especially the smaller, more fun 2-lane roads. So if I can see, hey, looks like there's a house on the left or a barn or some kind of structure, then I know I'm turning there, and that's often better than not having any of that information. So I'll go direct to my different screens here. So if I want all music, I can do that. If I want all maps or phones, and then I've got the split screen here where I can tell it I want to be able to see both. But we'll just do maps for right now. And then again, I got the remote control, so there is capability here to go through some of these settings and make these adjustments without even taking my hands off of the handlebars, which pretty cool. You basically get a left, right, press to select. Then there's also buttons in that are designated for hanging up a call if it's ringing, or you know, answering it. I don't do a lot of phone calls on the motorcycle, but it is a possibility. But overall, the system seems extremely responsive, very quick. I've got, you know, kind of a medium leather glove on. Seems to be working fine. Like most touch systems with gloves, every once in a while you miss a touch, but overall it's doing what it's supposed to. Today is a very wet morning. I can barely see out of my visor with all this fog. And I know phones are pretty rugged these days, but I do really like knowing that my phone is protected. It's in my bag. It's not subject to any vibrations. One of the biggest problems with phones on handlebar mounts is when you get hit with a lot of vibrations, it can actually mess up your image stabilization in your camera, or your camera as a whole. It's one of the biggest failure points. So There is vibration on this bike. It's a single cylinder. You've got some vibration isolation here on your crossbar, which I think is pretty cool. That I got this crossbar mount from Chigee. I want another gear. But since this system is doesn't have all that, you know, it doesn't have a camera built in to here. It has the cameras mounted front and rear. I don't have to worry about any image stabilization type systems internally to this. It's more resistant to vibrations, so it shouldn't have the problems that a phone does on handlebar mount. It's also all weatherproof, very rugged. I put the screen protector on, so don't need to worry about you know, getting scratches or things like that. Some people may say, well, how are you going to get scratches on it? I go off-road a lot. I end up with rocks flying around and tree limbs skimming across the top of the bars, and you never know what you're going to encounter. Could just have mud all over my hands and go to hit buttons and end up scratching the screen that way. Variety of things could happen. With the buttons, again, I've got a button here to take me directly to my home screen. So if I'm worried about, is my speed accurate? Well, let's see here. I'm holding 60 mile an hour indicated on the Triumph, and it's an actual 56 according to GPS. So there I can see exactly what my speed is. And maybe you've even got an old bike that doesn't have, you know, or a custom bike that doesn't have a full speedometer, odometer, everything. You could use this only as your one and only display, and it would have everything that you need to be legal. And I can use that second button to switch back to my phone screen mirroring. Third button pulls up my cameras, so 4 different screens for the cameras. This shows front only. You can see the way I mounted it. Still get a little bit of view of the front fender, because I did that high fender kit, but I'm not real worried about that. Also tap it again, then I get rear. So if I'm worried about something going on behind me, I can keep an eye on my rear camera. And now these are recording as well, so you've got a micro SD slot that you can put up to 128, I believe that's correct, up to 128 gigs of storage in here to record everything, or it does have a small amount of internal storage as well. And then I can do split screen also, so a little picture in picture showing the front with the rear as secondary, or opposite of that, rear with the front as secondary. And then the last button up top is a lock, and that just prevents you from, you know, I don't know, maybe it's raining or you're doing something else, you got something, whatever the situation is, you want to make sure it doesn't get any false presses. All you got to do is hit that lock screen and it'll keep you on your main screen. So you can see I got my compass heading, headed north right now. That's going to keep me updated. It's got trip meter, Got direct buttons to go to all your information. I can go to meter, and that's going to show sort of a different screen with miles per hour. There's inputs for engine temperature, throttle input, showing me my battery voltage. So there's a lot of stuff that you can do with this depending on accessories. So I'm seeing the pressure and temperature at each tire. I'm gonna have to take for granted that that is external, not an internal reading, and not a reading right at the tire surface itself, but interesting to see that. Go back to the Chigee main screen and back to my phone mirroring, Android Auto. Foggy morning here in East Tennessee. They don't call it the Smokies for nothing. That's showing my signal strength down here, time, battery level, and how many alerts I have. I know a lot of people say, man, I ride to get away from all this. You don't have to use all of it. You can use this. My main thing is this bike is awesome, but it doesn't have GPS, it doesn't have tire pressure monitors, it doesn't have a lot of stuff that some of the more modern bikes do. Sometimes I like listening to music in my headset on my helmet. I commute to work, so having access to not only GPS, but GPS with live traffic allows me to bypass any traffic congestions. When I go out and explore back roads, find some of these trails, I've got access to all that on here, so I can figure out where I'm going, or once I get lost, I can figure out how to get home. So that's a lot of times how I ride, is just go explore, right? Off the beaten path, never been down this road before, wonder where this trail goes, and before you know it, I've got no clue where I'm at. I have no reference. With this, when I'm done or I need a little bit of assistance, I've got it right here, and easy to find my way back home. Also, since obviously I do commute, dash cams, man, I can't tell you, you probably know, you've heard a lot of stories about people getting in accidents or something happen on the road, and then it's one person's word against another. With this, I keep a constant loop recording of everything going on, and there is irrefutable legal proof if I get rear-ended, or if something happens in front of me that I get tangled up in, of exactly what went on, how I reacted, and then the outcome is the outcome. But so I like that peace of mind with all the craziness going into the city, that I've got that dash cam recording front and rear of everything going on around me, because people are crazy. Tire pressure monitors are another one that's super handy. You go to head out and your tire gets low, it's nice to get that warning. Hey, your tire's low on air. Awesome. But just because I have this system, if I'm disconnected, I'm not listening to music, I don't want to talk on the phone, my headset's off. This might pop up with a little alert saying somebody's trying to get a hold of me, but that's it. At least I know, hey, my wife is trying to get a hold of me. I can either ignore her, or I can pull over and call her back at some point. So yes, I also ride to get away. No, I don't see this as a reason why you can't get away. Another thing I'll point out here with these cameras is that integrated into this, you can actually use that rear camera to turn on blind spot monitoring notifications. So if you're worried about cars coming up next to you and you not noticing, maybe you've got mobility issues, maybe your mirrors suck on your motorcycle, or maybe you just want that extra bit of technology to let you know what's going on, you can turn on blind spot monitoring. Let's go ahead and rip through these curves up here. They're a bit of fun. Side note here, if any of you interested in or currently ride or researching the Triumph 400s, want to know if they have any top speed capability, any high speed riding, I mean, there's an indicated 90, so is it a problem to ride? No, and that's still only about 8,000 RPMs in my break-in period, so interstate riding, no problem. It's flashing at me at the tack because it wants me to keep it currently, down to around 6,000. So 6,000 RPM, doing an almost 70 miles per hour indicated. Handling through the curves is amazing. These things are so lightweight and nimble. So much fun. Great at low speed. High speed, no worries. So if you got to do some interstate stints like me to get where you're going at times, easy peasy. Turn directions, GPS, hard to beat, especially with live traffic updates. Makes commuting just that much nicer, exploring. Again, I can go back to my music, can hit play, listening to it in my headset, flip through all my music, whatever I feel like listening to. Oh, see, there's an example. Got a phone call coming in. At least I know I'm getting a phone call. Really don't care. I'm not going to answer it right now. I do have the capability because I have my headset on. So if I wanted to answer it, I could. One of the other things I really like about this system is once you arrive at your destination, turn off your bike, It's going to go ahead and give me a little update. I did 19.2 miles today, total of 30.9 since I put this on. I hit 85 miles per hour. It's 90 indicated here. Off. So it gives you a little recap of your ride, and automatically shuts off with the bike. Don't have to worry about it drawing power. Now we'll take it back to Will in the studio for final recap. Final recap on the Chigee AIO-5 Lite. Do I recommend it? Absolutely. It is an incredible all-in-one tech solution for pretty much any bike on the market. A lot of people have, GPS specific units. A lot of people like using a phone mount. For me, this integrates the best of both of those and adds things like front and rear dash cam cameras so that you can monitor everything going on around you and have recordings, whether that's something you want to post on the internet in the future or just have for legal reasons if there is something that goes bad, in traffic and you need video evidence of what happened around you. So blind spot monitoring, tire pressure monitors, all kinds of stuff that you can't get just by putting your phone up on a handlebar mount, or that you can't get with a standard GPS system. So highly recommend this. I have enjoyed riding with it. Super easy to use, very intuitive. Installation is straightforward, very, very high quality, very responsive, fast, quick, easy to use. Definitely 2 thumbs up. 5 stars, 10 out of 10, whatever you want to call it. It's an incredible product. I would not hesitate to recommend it to anyone. I'm sure it's not the perfect solution for everyone. We all want different things. That's what's great about this world. If this interests you, don't hesitate. Pull the trigger, get one, easy installation. It will increase your safety and ride capability as far as getting out there, knowing where you're going, knowing what's around you, making sure your tire pressure is accurate at all times or where it should be. Appreciate you joining me today. If you've got any feedback, if you've been using this system, if I missed anything, if you've got questions, comment down below. I've got links in the description. You can go direct to Chigee Global and buy their product there. Thank you for watching. Hope you all have a great day. Ride safe.